Good afternoon, Flosstube. It's Lori of MischievousStitches. I want to welcome all of you to my channel today. I'm very glad that you stopped by to visit with me. I have had a wonderful few days. I had a friend come and visit for the long weekend, and we have been crafting our hearts away. She's not here with me now, and I'm missing her a whole lot, but my dining room table here is covered with just odds and ends, things we crafted, the things we just pushed to the side when we were done with. I've even got some things on the kitchen counter, so I need to tidy up shortly after the video, and there's some things I need to finish up. She arrived on Thursday and we just got to work. We made a few project bags, we did a little stitching, we had some great home cooked meals, some snacks, but mainly we just crafted whatever struck our fancy at the moment. And even the things we planned kind of changed during the day, the things we planned before she arrived. We just kind of went with whatever was on our hearts at the moment, and I'll share some of those with you in just a second. But to the stitching, most of you are here for the cross stitch, and some of these crafts are cross stitch related, not all, but a few. And so I'm going to share with you my stitching first. So I have been working on this shop model for longer than I intended to, but I've gotten some progress this week. So I do have, it looks like maybe it's a cup of hot cocoa by the color of it. It's a creamy brown there in the top of the cup. And I have moved down to the sides trying to outline it. I really don't have that much stitching, and my goal is to definitely have this finished by the end of this week. I actually had the idea I was going to have this finished this long weekend, but we stitched very, very little. I didn't touch this long weekend, but I did stitch on this primarily during the week when I had a moment to stitch. And this is Gorgeous by the Artsy Housewife, and I'm stitching it on a what I think is a 36 count linen, hand dyed, and it's one strand over 2 linen threads. I can't remember the name of it. So I did make a start on something on, was it Friday night? My friend started it yesterday morning. We sat down after breakfast and just put in several stitches because we knew once we started crafting, we would not pick up our stitches. So this is what we started. This is a cross stitch pattern by Barefoot Needlearts, and this is Our Flock Rocks. I changed mine up a little bit. I'm not using the call for colors or the call for fabric. We were in the shop together at Barefoot when we picked up this pattern, and we decided to give it our own little spin. So here is where I stand with it at the moment. It's going to be a quick little stitch. I should have a good bit of stitching time in the next couple of weeks, I'm thinking, so I'm hoping to finish this one up by the end of the week as well. And I love how that flamingo's turning out. I think the color is Shrimp Cocktail, and it's really, really perfect for this. Now the fabric is a 28 count Zweigart called Peach Rose. And it was just a remnant, that small piece they had at the shop, and I picked that up. And now on to the goodies. So every time, and her name is Kylie, every time Kylie and I are together, we seem to buy the same patterns, get interested in the same thing, and it just works well together. So our plan was to get some stitching done when she was here, to get some project bags made. I saw a video posted by Primrose Cottage about 2 weeks ago to make some thread catchers, I think is what they call them. And so I got the snaps and the tool to install those, and Kylie brought some fabric. We got started on those. Kylie brought a 5x5 charm pack by Riley Blake Designs and some color Kona, I think it's Kona, 5x5 charms, and we went to work. I still have some laying here to sew up and assemble, so I haven't put away my sewing machine. But we spent the majority of Friday morning making these. So I want to share a few with you. So we did the solid inside, and we put the snaps. And as I said, it's a Primrose Cottage tutorial. So what I will do is post that down here there at the bottom in the description box so you can see. But such a cute little fabric. And then we just got silly during late at night and we named all the colors, and this is my husband washed my white clothes. This one is Clemson because I'm in South Carolina, a big SEC football team. But I just love these, and we got started and we just couldn't stop. So we just made a lot of them, and we do have plans for them. This one's sherbet. This one's mint. No, I'm wrong. I think that one's Barbie. I think she named this one Barbie. But just such cool little colors. And these are the ones we matched with appropriate colors. Oops. And that I need to sew up. And so I plan to put as much time as I can to sewing some of these up in the next few days. My husband is having a medical procedure on Tuesday. We have some pre-op things to do tomorrow. I have had a rough few weeks with work, and I had really been praying that there would be some relief from it, but I didn't expect it to come in this way. So due to the procedure he's having, I'm going to be off with him. I actually put in for work for 2 weeks before I submitted some FMLA paperwork to take the time off, and then when we visited the doctor on Thursday morning, it's actually I'm going to be off for 4 weeks to help to care with him. So I do plan on stitching. He will have a week hospital stay. I do plan to take my stitching along with me because I'll have lots of empty hours, but a little nervous. So if you're one of the believers out there, please, I appreciate those prayers if you'll send them up. And so I think another reason, Kylie and I had planned this visit prior to finding out about the surgery we just found out about last week, and I was so glad to have her here so I wouldn't dwell on what was going on. So Kylie, thank you so much for spending some time with me. So back to the fun stuff. So we did craft these, and we did a little painting, or I did some painting yesterday morning, some little crafty. It was a beach theme. Found some little whales and sailboats at a local everything's a dollar store and picked those up that I'm gonna make a little beach theme summer garland to hang. So I got that painted yesterday, and it's still on the kitchen counter, so I forgot to bring those in there. But the biggest thing we did when we made bags, Kylie has always done zippers. I'm not comfortable with zippers. I've done a few, but they don't ever turn out as nicely as I'd like them to be. Kylie, on the other hand, has never stitched one of the envelope pouches, and I did tell her that those are my favorite because I feel like they securely keep my pattern in them securely without the risk of the zipper grabbing the edge of that or grabbing some of the threads if I don't tuck them down in a project bag and they get caught up in the zipper. So I prefer the envelope pouches, so she suggested we do a few of the envelope pouches first. So the first one we come up with, when we get together, we have a theme of flamingos. So of course I picked up some fabric on Thursday with that in mind. So this is the first envelope pouch that we made. And the great thing is when you have another crafter, someone who enjoys creating, you throw ideas at one another, and then what you create ends up being a little bit of you, a little bit of your friend. And that's what happened here. So I've never used the snaps, but since we had made so many of these and I had a container of snaps, I actually added snaps to my envelope pouches this time. And usually I use the adhesive Velcro pieces. So I had this, just a hot pink center. And then I got the idea, I told her I had a grommet maker upstairs, a crocodile, and I wanted to put some grommets, so maybe I can put a tag with the project information on it, or maybe I can hang scissors fobs on it, that kind of thing. And she's over here and she's just doing her thing, and what are you doing? And she had made this tassel. So she took the remnants from the edge, the bias, not the bias, what do you call it? Well, the edge of the fabric, she added some little rickrack scraps she had, little lace, and the fabric pieces, and made a tassel. And so I said, that's great, and tied it into the side of the envelope, and I love it. Then I realized every year I buy, hold on just a second, I'm grabbing. I always buy a little charm bag of these. It was introduced to me by Helen D here on Flosstube, and I buy the charms for the year. This particular pack I get now comes with 4 different colors: gold, silver, more tarnished gold, and a bronze or a copper color. And so I decided, I told her that I thought it would be cool if we integrate a year charm in there, and we did. So like I said, little things that we did, like adding snaps, adding the grommet, making a tassel. I even have some other ideas I'm gonna do with one. I have 2 that I have not made tassels for that I plan to do today, and I'm gonna add something a little different to it then. But such a great idea. The year I made it, I'm never gonna forget doing this with her. So that was really cool. So my husband took us out to dinner yesterday, and on the way back, we made a stop at for some more crafting supplies on the way back to the house. And Kylie picked up this beautiful fabric, and we couldn't find that exact yellow for the inside, but she had on a beautiful dress that had a green as well as the lemons and the stripes, just like this bag. So we decided to integrate the green with the lemons and the navy and white stripes. Again, we added snaps and another tassel and another date. So cool. And this, it was so funny, was on the table because I have a habit of when I buy something that is like socks, especially at Christmas, or little gift items will come wrapped with a pretty ribbon. And I never throw those ribbons away. And I told her that I keep a large glass jar upstairs, and anytime I get something that is wrapped with twine or ribbon or that kind of thing, I will throw it in that jar. And that piece of ribbon just happened to be here on the table, and I ironed it up because it was wrinkled from being on the packaging, and asked if she'd incorporate it into the tassel for these, and she did. And I love that this is kind of like a scrap buster. We have some, in this particular one, to incorporate the green, I had some green baker's twine, and she added that in as well. But it's just so creative. And then I had fabric. I have lots of fabric, and I told her when she arrived, I use anything we can use in my craft room. Don't be shy. I have more than enough to share, and she brought a lot. I mean, she teased last night that she had brought a U-Haul to bring all her things, but she arrived with just about as much as I have in my craft room, and we just really pulled from each other's stash. But here's the last bag I made last night. I made, was it 2 of these already? Yes, she has one with, I kept forget, because with these we realized that we could get 3 bags, envelope bags, out of a piece of the Pellon that I had, and we made 3 of these, and I have one here that just needs to be finished. It's right now it has right faces together and the Pellon on the back, so I just need to finish sewing that up and add the snaps and the grommet. But I really love this one. The fabric's a periwinkle blue inside, and again, I've already installed the grommet, and everything I need to make the tassels are right behind the camera there, so I have that. And then with the remnants from, excuse me, the remnants from making the bags, I took them and cut them into 5 by 5 inch squares. Now, the tutorial by Primrose, I believe it's 6.5, but I love that Kylie, we were able to use the charm packs, so we didn't have to worry about all the cutting of the fabric, that kind of thing. And I think they make a really cute, perfect size thread catch. The one I kept for myself is this one. I absolutely love the colors in this fabric. So and plus it was a tiny bit wonky due to how I placed. This I think was the first one that I made, and it was just a little wonky, and but I love it because it's my first one. So I have a little bit bigger pieces here. I think these were 5.5, but these were 5. And so I have several more to make, and I'm gonna get to working on, I'm gonna finish this one tonight, but I wanna get some stitching. So I plan on working on our flock rocks, the pat piece I showed you. I'm gonna work on that tonight. And then someone asked me what pattern was I gonna put inside of this one. And I can't share the pattern picture because I had downloaded it from Artsy, and it just come with the color key and the actual pattern. And sometimes I do that. I might, when someone emails you, when you order a PDF, they may enter the pattern picture separate than the color guide and the pattern itself. The cover picture, that's what I want to say. The cover picture and the pattern and the key may be all in separate. And oftentimes I don't even print it because I can only print black and white. And so I don't have it. But Kylie has the same one, and we're going to start it together, but she left not all of her cross stitching, just all of her current pieces at home and brought her kitted things with her. So that's why we made a start on our flock rocks and not our new piece. But I look forward to later today, probably when I start putting things away, to put that flamingo picture in there. And it so makes me so happy just to look across my tabletop and see the things that I see, because we had such a great weekend and everything just has a tiny little memory with it. I do have plans in the coming week. One of the things we were gonna do was finish some pieces. It was supposed to be a finishing weekend, and it turned into more of a sewing crafting weekend. But I pulled out a couple of pieces, and I've shared these over the past few months, and I'm putting them here because I've got my sewing machine out, it's set up. I'm gonna have some time at home in the next couple of weeks. And in downtime from that, I'm gonna stitch. So I have this, and it's a pledge of my affection from Blackbird Design. I finished it earlier in the year. And my sweet friend, Natasha, passed along a piece of Blackbird fabric, which is perfect, absolutely perfect for this design. And I'm gonna sew that up into a pillow and probably pick up some darker lace, some larger, floppier lace to go around the edge of it. It's gonna be a rather big pin pillow, but that's okay. And then I picked up this wooden blank a few months ago to finish this piece on. So I have to change this up a little bit. I'm gonna remove this jute and put the holes for the jute hanger there so that I can place this Heart and Hand Santa. And I will be installing him first on a piece of mat board, finishing him on a piece of mat board. But behind him, I will be decoupaging this this snowflake paper on the back of it first, and then he will go on top of that. So I'm gonna lay them, keep them here as inspiration, and put what things I can away. But again, I'm so relaxed and happy after this weekend. I'm glad she come. We had a great time, and Hank is just in love with Kylie. He tried really hard to sleep with her Thursday night. He just didn't want to leave her side, which I thought was so sweet. But if you ever have the time to get together with some girlfriends, even just for the day, and do a little crafting and finishing of your cross stitch, it's so worth it. It's such a joyous, relaxing time, and I encourage you all to do that or make plans to do that in the future. I do plan to do it again soon. I'm not sure exactly when. Like I said, I've got some things coming up with my husband, but I look forward to the planning of it and just enjoying some friendship time. Thanks for coming by and visiting with me today, and I hope to see you. I will see you again soon. Hugs and stitches, everyone. Bye-bye.